Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince Otis. I am back here with another video. Today is the finale of What If Naruto Was a Hybrid. By the way, some of you keep asking me in the comments, what is he a hybrid of, just to fuck with me? It's not funny, okay? Stop. I will just delete your comments. I've deleted a lot of them. Just stop. There's no point. Also, I might just be doing What If Asta Was a Player. Then I'll do What If Asta Could Edit Magic later on. It's gonna be fun, and I think the player one is actually perfect. Also, I don't know why I had to explain this over and over, but if you have to ask me what the hell a player is when there's a picture of Sung Jin-woo in the thumbnail, then you are not a true fan of soul leveling, because that is literally what Sung Jin-woo is called. He's not a soul leveling system using, he's a player. It's literally what the system calls him. It calls him that every time it talks about him. It doesn't say Sung Jin-woo. It says player is losing, is gaining damage. That's what it's called. He is a player. The system is not called a soul leveling system. It's just a system. Also, there is this question that someone asked me, and well, it's not a question, it was just like, you know, a little comment. He said that he would like it if I switched things up and didn't just give the main character Shadow Monarch abilities. But the thing is, that's another thing. I'm not sure you understand how soul leveling works, because there was never going to be another class. The system is made so that a being called the Shadow Monarch could reincarnate in a new body. There was never going to be any other class. It was always going to be the Shadow Monarch's power. So that's how it works. There is no other class. It's just that Jin thought he was going to get a class suited to him. But it didn't matter, because in the end, he just ended up getting shadow powers. It doesn't matter. That's how it works. If the system could really give you any class you wanted, then it would be too overpowered, and it would also make no sense at all, because that's not what the system is made for. Okay, now that I'm done with this huge rant, I swear to God, if someone else has to ask me what a player is, bro, you are not reading soul leveling, and I am a bit disappointed, just a little bit. Like, it's obvious. Want me to show you the thumbnail? Here it is. I don't know how you can't tell from context. Alright, I'm gonna stop getting pissed off. Let's just get right into it. This is the finale, you know, big finish. I'm gonna leave a lot of stuff up to you, like with the end of What If Deku Kinetic works. You know, just come up with the rest on your own. Just have a little fun with it. Create little scenarios. Alright, let's go. So, we started off with Naruto returning to the village feeling complete, and then he got to go on a solo mission to rescue Gaara. Naruto did so all in one day, and Gaara was protected by a seal, and this made the leaf and the sand get closer as Naruto then went to look for Sasuke with a new team member, Sai. When they find Sasuke though, Naruto lets him escape intentionally just for fun, also because he doesn't want to kill him, placing the Raijin mark on him. Unfortunately though, they couldn't find Kabumaru, but it didn't matter because soon Sasuke would kill him. Then the problem of Naruto's nomination came up, and this is when Naruto used his powers to expose Danzo and eventually get him executed. This helped in getting Naruto to become Hokage, but before that happened, Team 7 took down Kakuzu and Hidan with ease, but they couldn't really get any info on the Akatsuki, so that sucks. Also, Naruto has a 3 billion Ryo bounty on his head and is in the bingo book of some villages and countries, but that won't matter anyway. Soon Naruto will become the Hokage, making big changes and forming an alliance with the Sand and getting closer with Gaara, and they actually become friends. Now, we go to Naruto in his office as he remembers talking to his parents after Shikamaru asking him how he came up with the idea of the barrier. And after that one day he got in contact with his parents, they started slowly telling him about his heritage, the fact that he has freaking, well, what, 7 hearts, and the fact that he can basically never die, he's essentially immortal, and yeah, just a lot of things about himself. It didn't really happen at once. They kept telling him day by day and letting him know everything, and this led to them telling him why they had to leave. Now, on the day of the attack, Kurama was ripped out of Kushina, but she recovered very quickly, enough to eventually just talk down Kurama using her powers. And Minato not only beat up the masked man, aka Toby, he sort of traumatized him a lot. And overall they won, but their son had to suffer for it for a while, because now that everything was done, for some reason the demon and goddess realm needed leaders. And due to their heritage, Meliodas and Elizabeth had to go back, and now they become supreme and stronger than ever. They are essentially gods now. And yeah, they had to go back. By the way, I didn't finish Seven Deadly Sins, and I don't plan to, but this is just a speculation of how things went out. From what I've seen in the manga, Meliodas and Elizabeth do get married and have a kid, but I'm just, making this up for the what if, so don't get offended or anything. All right, you can still, it's the continuity doesn't matter. It's just to make the story make sense. So if they didn't leave Earth, it would be flooded by demons or egoistic angels that would start rebellions and shit. So they faked dying, killing their bodies they had inhabited. And the reason why Minato and Kushina's bodies became the vessels for Meliodas and Elizabeth is because after the aftermath of the final battle in the anime or whatever, their souls and their essence waited for years until they found the perfect vessels to come along. They weren't dead, it was just that the battle was actually a little harder. But their friends still had good lives. They were just waiting for them to come back. But then people moved on, and then came the age of ninja. Not that anyone really remembered that. So you can call it kind of like the Void Century in One Piece. So they moved on with their lives, hiding their powers, but letting like high level people know and people they trust know about them. And since they had such perfect control of their powers, it was no problem for them getting by. And yeah, regardless, they apologized to Naruto, and he understands, telling them that he loved them anyway, because, well, he wouldn't be here without them. So I mean, awesome. And he finally got strong enough to handle himself, so it's all good. Now, as Naruto reminisced on the time he spent just talking with his parents, we then go back to the present as Naruto smiles, answering Shikamaru's question with another question. Now, is that such a way to address the Hokage? Shikamaru would then feel scared, bowing and apologizing, as both Asuma and Naruto laugh, and Naruto says, "It's okay. I'll tell you about the barrier later. By the way, this mission is going to be pretty basic. I need you to deliver this to the sand, more specifically to its Kage." He would then hand them a scroll, and it was kind of glowing bright yellow, and then he told them that when Gaara opened it, he would understand what the scroll was for. Now, Team Asuma would then leave as Naruto finished all his paperwork, and then Team Guy arrived. When they arrived, Naruto would say, "How goes it?" And Lee would say, "Even as Hokage, I guess you're still the same Naruto." Really? I guess so, huh? Well, it's good to see you guys. Now I gotta ask you, what kind of mission are you in the mood for? Interesting, you're giving us the choice? Well then of course you want something that can challenge us, says Guy. Naruto would then take out a scroll, putting it on the desk, as Guy would then take it and read it. Upon reading it, his eyes widen, and he would then bow to Naruto as he then leaves. He leaves first, making the others wonder what kind of mission it was. Naruto only waved at them in a way that kind of scared them as they left, but honestly, it was just a mission for them to help with farm work. But a lot of farm work, it was a lot. It was to help the surrounding villages and people, so they could be more connected to them. When Kakuzu and Hidan like ran amok, they destroyed a lot of things, so people need some help, and this is a way to get trust with normal citizens by letting high level ninja help them. So now as they leave, Naruto calls in Torune and Sai, and they appear by his side. He then stands up as he calls in Tenzo, who appears right in front of him. No more Yamato. Naruto calls him Tenzo, and Naruto would say, "I know this is unbefitting of your skills, but would you please accompany me?" Tenzo and the others would be happy to do so, and then they would head to the top of the Hokage monument. "May I ask why we're here, my lord?" asked Torune. Naruto would then point to the edge of the village barrier, where they all see Akatsuki members approaching. Naruto would then tell them all to wait here a bit and protect the village, and gather up shinobi. And as they do, Naruto teleports right in front of Pain just as he says these words, "Shinra tent." He would then be cut off as Naruto lands a solid kick in his face, sending him flying through the forest, breaking a ton of trees. The other paths would get on guard as one summons a giant two-headed dog and a huge bird. However, Naruto destroys these creatures with his arc ball, and then using his yin release, he would capture the rest of the members in cocoons made of his very demon essence. He then locks them away and disrupts the use of their powers because, well, the cocoon kind of, stops, Nagato's transmission, so they can't move anymore. They're just corpses now. The villagers and everyone in the village would of course notice this fight and, kind of get ready to evacuate. But as they do, above them, they just see a giant meteor, and Naruto would be up there flying up to see Pain flying and holding the meteor. Seems like you don't know what true pain is, thus you don't want to experience it. But pain is necessary. Naruto would then sigh, saying, I know this isn't your real form, so whoever is controlling this body, I'm gonna find you in about 3 minutes tops, so I suggest you run. We then cut back to Nagato as he tells Konan that Naruto is onto them, and Konan asks, what is this kid? How does he know so much? Nagato would then say he's too dangerous to be left alive. Even if we can't extract this beast, it doesn't matter. The pain on the battlefield would then drop the meteor when in an instant it is cut in half as the pain feels a gust of wind just hit him. Naruto had his blades out and then he would resheathe them as the meteor as well as the center of it just splits in half and the center kind of implodes. Meanwhile, the rubble was just falling. Naruto would then appear in front of the pain, just slamming his hands through his stomach, saying, I'm sorry. I'm sure this body was once moving and breathing and living, but I have to protect my people. As Naruto would then pull his hand back, he would create a giant Rasengan which just expanded, destroying and obliterating the pain to nothing. Everyone in the village would then be amazed by the spectacle, but the meteor parts were still falling. But as they were, Naruto would just leave, making everyone mad, as some of the villagers who still kind of distrust him would say, I thought he was gonna save us. Did he just leave us to die? We're gonna die. The village is gonna be destroyed. They would then wait for their deaths, but as the rubble was close to hitting them, they disintegrate to nothing and they see the barrier. All the villagers feel bad because only one person can do things like that, and that person is Naruto, so they start cheering for him, feeling bad that they ever doubted him, and they never will again. Thanking him, they would just keep cheering, and some ninja headed in the direction that Naruto went, and this would be like, Shikasho, but the adult version, the parents, and Sakura and Kakashi would follow them. As for Naruto, he eventually found Nagato using KCM, and he would enter a tree trunk finding the mastermind. Naruto would still give his little speech asking Nagato to leave everything to him, and because trying to spread pain will only bring things to ruin, not bring people together. Using his Taku no Jutsu, Naruto would convince Nagato to just stop and he deactivates his other pains. Not that it really matters because Naruto already squeezed them to death when he put them in the cocoons. After Nagato agrees to surrender, Naruto then starts walking up to him, with Konan getting in his way, pointing a paper blade at his throat. This blade would then be squished like normal paper as Naruto just walked past it. Relax, I'm gonna help you. I have more than 1,000,000 ways and chances to kill you. He would then touch Nagato on the forehead as he would close his eyes, and the ninjas who were chasing Naruto would see a blinding light coming from deep in the forest, and they run in that direction. The ninjas would be what? Kakashi would then say, don't worry, that light tells me Naruto's won. No one can beat that guy. We then go back to the tree as, the light dies down and Konan would open her eyes, as would Nagato, when he falls out of his little compartment, seeing his hands that are no longer wrinkled, and he's full of energy. Konan would just run and hug him as she, for a long time in a while, actually cried since the passing of Hyakki. Nagato would then thank Naruto, and Konan would do the same, but they would ask why he would have helped them. I feel really bad, says Naruto. Also, I would love to see Jiraiya's face when he sees you guys again. Did you guys maybe meet him? You're the leader of the Akatsuki, right? He went searching for you. Nagato would then wipe his tears, saying, actually, no, I didn't see him. He never came to our land. Naruto would then wonder where Jiraiya might be, and then this is when we see him tied up and held up against a wall with scars all over his body, showing that he has been tortured. He would then be slapped across the face by the same masked man that attacked the village many years ago. Toby would yell and ask, what do you know? How did you find us? Jiraiya would spit in his face, but it just passes through him, and this pisses off Toby, as he would then see Jiraiya stick out his tongue in a mocking manner. You won't get anything out of me. I won't tell you anything about my village or my student. Don't bother. Jiraiya then laughs as we cut back to Naruto, who was heading back towards the village while being accompanied by Nagato and Konan, and they would be met by the group of shinobi who asked if everything was alright. Naruto would say, I took care of the problem. These two have agreed to form an alliance of sorts. Are these not the ones who just attacked the leaf? Asked Shikaku. Everyone would then get on guard where Naruto would tell him to stand down, saying, trust me, I got this now. Let's go back home. They would then listen to Naruto begrudgingly and returning to Konoha as everyone cheers for Naruto, but they're still a bit wary of bringing Konan and Nagato into the village because they seem suspicious. And well, yeah, Naruto would then go to the Hokage building, making an announcement that the village and the Rain, aka the former Akatsuki members, will be making an alliance, and he would say, "I take full responsibility for their actions, please trust in me." Everyone, of course, trusts Naruto now because he de-escalated the situation, like, so easily and turned an enemy into a friend for the village. So as Naruto makes his announcement, another week passes by. In this week, Naruto makes an alliance with the Rain, and he lays a barrier around their place to protect them from their former teammates. Now the Rain is better than ever, and there's no need for actual Rain in the place. So I think that in this case, Nagato would rename it. You guys can come up with a new name for the village or the nation or whatever, because there was no need for supervising everyone because the barrier protected everyone and everything was just better now. And the sand now also had a barrier, courtesy of Naruto. That was what the scroll was for, and the surrounding villages around the leaf have begun to become more harmonious, and trade has never been better between the nations. This little alliance of three nations, it's awesome. Now, during this week, as Naruto was training at the grounds, the jutsu he placed on Jiraiya activated as he just appeared right in front of him, bloodied and beaten. Naruto will be horrified as he then quickly heals him up and waking him up. As Jiraiya woke up, he was disassembled and kind of wrecked, so Naruto used another spell to heal him mentally. This is the first time when Naruto would see his master cry as he would hug him, and this would make him just snap. As this happens, it was actually in the afternoon, and Naruto would be hugging Jiraiya tightly, thinking, "Enough is enough. Those bastards have really done it now." As Naruto thought this, Jiraiya would actually pass out in his arms as he would then run to his house and lay him down. He would then call for Anbu to protect him while he slept, and he would then go to his office and ask for someone to send a message out for a Kage summon. Now, right now, one of his clones is actually doing paperwork while he's out doing whatever. And as the news of the Kage summit, being formed or whatever is called, is reached to the other nations, they actually take up Naruto on this and agree to meet up. It would take about 2 days for them to reply back, and Naruto, it would take about 2 days for them to reply back to Naruto, and once they do, Naruto will be in his house looking at Jiraiya, who is still not woken up yet. As he steps out of his house, he would see Tsunade and Hiruzen, who wish him good luck. "Please take care of him. I healed him, but his trauma, what he must have endured, must have been too much." He would then head inside as Sai would appear handing Naruto his Hokage hat, and as he does, Naruto thanks him, saying to go get Sakura and return because she's gonna be his escort. He waits for them atop the Hokage monument, and when the two arrive, Naruto would tell them to touch his shoulders. As they do, they appear at the meeting place, which would be the Land of Iron. Naruto actually sped over there and left the Raijin mark, and then they would wait for a few hours, about, let me say, 5 hours. Getting to the Land of Iron isn't really that far, right? So the first one to arrive is actually Mifune, the man who greets Naruto, and then soon all the other Kage would arrive and the meeting would start. "Please lay down your hats and let this meeting begin," says Mifune, because he was actually kind of, the mediator, and he was just a samurai, not a ninja. "Alright then, I'll go first," says Naruto. The Tsuchikage would then interrupt, saying, "I know you call this a meeting, Hokage, but your arrogance must have its limits." Naruto would then stare at the old man, releasing this huge amount of bloodlust that makes everyone just freaking almost want to piss in their pants, and Naruto would say, "I don't give a fuck about appearances or your stupid traditions. My sensei has been hurt, my village has been attacked, and I am sick of the Akatsuki. I'm sure you feel the same." Mei would then say, alright, please calm down, and Tsuchikage, be quiet. We don't have time for this. We've all had our Jinchuriki stolen, correct? They would then nod as A would then smash the table, making all the attendants, the bodyguards or escorts, except Sakura and Sai, get on guard, ready to attack. "I'm still looking for my brother. I believe he somehow survived the attack. These bastards need to be taken care of, and I, like the Hokage, agree. These petty squabbles must stop." Mifune, as the mediator, would then tell him to refrain from causing a commotion, and A would agree as the escorts also calm down, and Gaara talks as well. Overall, the same things happen, but smoother, because everyone has this little voice behind it in their head, telling them to not make Naruto mad and do some stupid crap, or this kid will just slit their throat. However, as they're talking, out in front of them all, a Zetsu appears. All the Kage get ready to fight as they wonder what this thing actually is, but A wastes no time in breaking his desk as he then grabs the creature by the neck, strangling it. "Where's my brother? Tell me." Zetsu then realizes his strength and starts enveloping the Kage, absorbing his chakra, and he just spreads like a virus and appears on the other Kage. They all try to rip it off, but they feel weak. However, this is when the Zetsus will start to just scream as they disintegrate, and everyone will just see that Naruto did this as his hands were covered in light particles. "If these people have no problem stopping a Kage summit, then you realize what we need to do," says Naruto. All of a sudden, Tobi would appear right next to Naruto squatting down. "War. Excellent idea." As he says this though, Tobi is sent flying by a punch from Sakura, and as he's hit, he thinks, "Wait, she's faster than me?" He would then be sent into a wall but only passes through it as everyone is just confused by what is going on. Tobi would then walk back in, being enraged as Mifune goes to cut him, but a sword just passes through him, and he appears right at the ceiling. He would then create Susanoo arms going to destroy the room, but as he does, his Susanoo arms are cut and they dissipate as Tobi looks straight down to see Naruto staring at him. "So you want war? Let's go to war. But I think all of us here want to know one thing. Who the hell are you? What the hell do you want? What's your end game?" "My name is Madara Uchiha," says Tobi, "and I hope you don't regret your words later, faithful Kage." We then start warping away while laughing, and as he does, his laugh echoes throughout the building, with us zooming out of the meeting, and we go to Naruto's house to finally see Jiraiya open his eyes. Now as this happens, fade to black and one day has passed. Naruto returned to Konoha and gathered all the clans to talk about the war, and how the other nations are going to help them out with it. Naruto designated jobs for everyone, and Shikaku is of course the strategist, and Oichi will have the same job. Everyone will be doing the same thing as in the original, but this time Naruto is the one that organizes it with the help of the other nations. Now, as all of this is happening, things have been a roller coaster for Sasuke. Now, after killing Kabuto or Kabumaru, a piece of Orochimaru clung to him, but he manages to control himself and uses Orochimaru's power for his own benefit for a while. He still forms heavy, but after killing Kabuto, he actually found out that he had found the secrets of Ryuchi Cave, and with the help of his group, he discovers the Snake Sage's hideout. However, he went in alone as everyone just stayed outside and did their own solo arcs. It took him about a week to master the Sage mode, but Sasuke has become a Serpent, or otherwise known as Dragon Sage. This gives him a lot of power, and it, in turn, it releases Orochimaru out of his body because the Snake Sage doesn't like him. And when Orochimaru actually resurfaced, he had changed and chose to actually join Sasuke. And Sasuke thanked the White Snake Sage, and now they brought Orochimaru into the group. However, the others were still wary of him, but Sasuke is actually way stronger than him now. However, he hasn't gotten the Mangekyo yet, but he just needs one last push. This push would come when eventually he meets his brother Itachi. Also, you might be wondering why Sasuke is stronger. I mean, pieces of Orochimaru have been basically ripped off. He was disintegrated. Whatever he's prepared to join with Kabuto wasn't enough for him to gain his full strength, so he's actually pretty fucking weak right now. Now, as they eventually fight, Sasuke and Itachi, by this point, the Nation Alliance thing is already working. The sand, the cloud, the mist, everyone, the waves, wherever shinobi may be, they all gather together preparing to annihilate the Akatsuki. Naruto would be in his house talking to Jiraiya about what he saw in the Akatsuki hideout, and he saw something terrifying. An army of Edo Tensei people, some of the strongest shinobi that have ever lived. When Naruto heard about this, he quickly sent out a message to the Feudal Lord, and now that the alliance was made, monitors were set up running for Feudal Lords to communicate with each other. Now when the Feudal Lords hear about this and they relate things to each other, the Feudal Lord of the Cloud actually lets the other know that the Right Kage wants to hold a meeting for the Shinobi Alliance, but they all agree that this is a big threat, and they've definitely kind of expected something as crazy as this from the Akatsuki. Now from here on out, things go as in the original, except there are no Zetsus, only reanimations, and tons of them. The only ones manipulating them this time would be Tobi, because Orochimaru isn't doing that crap, and Kabuto is actually dead for real. Now the main battle will be happening. The main battle of the war will be happening in the Sand Village, since the big players are there. Naruto is there, Nagato is there, with their powers combined. I mean, they're destroying people. Also, Gaara is there, and they're like a force of nature. The Akatsuki are nothing. Now, of course, the other battles are occurring with people getting some character development already on other sides. The reanimated people aren't just attacking the sand. And since this already started, Naruto actually put barriers all around the nations. That way they can't be infiltrated and be taken information from. Now, while they fight, Naruto was actually in the air flying, using his art to create arrows that he accurately shoots at Edo Tensei people, and this makes them evaporate right away. Nagato is just Shinra Tensei people all over the place, stealing whatever it is that they have as energy, chakra, and Gaara is just doing whatever he can, and when they're done, in front of them would appear 5 Kage. Naruto would then land down saying, "Don't worry, we're gonna make sure you can finally rest in peace." The people, the other ninja are a bit doubtful though, because these Kages are fucking OP, and Gaara would see his father among them, and he says that he'll take care of them, so they leave and have their own fight. Naruto would then stare at the former right Kage, who would ask, "Who are you, young man?" Naruto would then say, "Naruto Uzumaki, the current Hokage." You then run at the right Kage as he lightly touches them on the chest so freaking fast that no one can keep up, not even the right Kage himself. "I see. Then I can really now rest in peace." He would then start disintegrating, and he didn't expect it to happen, but he's fine with it. And Naruto would then go on to kill the Kage with ease, surprising everyone, and Gaara takes care of his own father. "I feel kind of unneeded," says Nagato. Naruto would then say, "You just being here helps." He would then create shadow clones that actually fill the sky, and there's like a million of them, like actually a million. Naruto's power is pretty much, it just can't be bottomed out at this point, and he also has Kurama, even though he's not using his power as much. That, his demon powers, his goddess powers, and his normal amount of chakra and magic, he just never runs out of energy. He's like, also like demons and goddesses are what's it called? They're self-sustaining. So yeah. Naruto would then say, "I think it's time we finally end this." As the clones would go to the battlefield, they would be endlessly just ending all Edo Tensei people, helping out, and with ease just destroying these motherfuckers. Shikaku and Inoichi had an easier time navigating everything because when they asked for help somewhere, Naruto was already there. And these clones are actually really freaking fast. Shikaku would then say, "This is not a war, this is a one-sided massacre. Did he even need the armies?" This would then go on until night falls, and in the end, Obito had to advance his plans or everything would go up in smoke. But right now, things look grim because there's no way they can extract Kurama out of Naruto of all people, and Gaara is heavily protected by his new seal. And he doesn't even have the Renegon that he needs, so in the same spot as the original, he would actually summon Madara, and the real Madara, which he had, would appear. When Madara comes to, he's confused by what he sees as Obito has no hope in his eyes at all. "Did you not find enough beasts?" asked Madara. This is impossible. That Naruto ruined everything. He's too strong," yells Obito. As he says this, a Naruto clone would land down with Madara asking if this was Naruto, and when Obito said yes, Madara wanted to test this boy, and he would lunge at him as they went into a taijutsu battle. He does a fast roundhouse kick, but Naruto blocks this kick, and then he punches him so hard in the chest that he chokes. He would then poof, appearing behind Naruto for a sneak attack, but Naruto would easily keep up. "Ha, gotcha," says Madara. He would then try to put Naruto in a genjutsu, but the clone's demon eyes would turn on, deflecting it, confusing Madara, who would then be kicked into the air by the face. Like, Naruto would see him on the ground and just freaking kick him like a soccer ball. Naruto would then appear behind him in the air as he sends him flying with the punch. Naruto would just keep like kicking and punching Madara to the air like a freaking ball. "Enough!" yells Madara as he would then create his Susanoo, and he swings it at Naruto, who counters with his giant shadow sword, which cuts through Madara's. "What? How is that possible?" He would then be sent flying as Naruto appears in front of him, ripping him out of the Susanoo and smashing his head into the ground. He then starts dragging him, like his face, through the dirt, and Madara's overflowing anger would finally come out as he awakens the Renegon. And he uses Shinra Tensei, and this sends the clone flying, and it destroys the landscape, leaving Madara in a huge crater. Madara would then step out of the crater and pushes the dust to the side, and he would see Naruto on the ground. And he would say, "You were quite an opponent. I wish I could continue this," but Naruto would then poof and he gets horrified, and he would just hear this loud, oppressing voice saying, "Or what?" He would then look up to see Naruto in the sky as shinobi arrives surrounding Madara, and Naruto says, Sorry, my clone wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be for you. They've been fighting all day. I guess at the end of the day, they are just clones. Nothing compared to the real thing. Dropping right down next to Madara, he sees that Madara has his Rinnegan active, and Naruto notices that he's also really pissed. And Madara would try to run away and jump away, creating the ghetto statue, which then roars. And the mere roar was enough to just scare everyone, and it would just start forming a tail beast bomb. What you're gonna use that to kill me? Asked Naruto. No, this is what I'm gonna use to destroy the nations. As soon as Madara said this, though, he showed the most maniacal and sadistic smile, and Naruto was just freaking done. And he snaps his fingers as the ghetto statue is in a ball made of arc. What have you done? Asked Madara. Whatever your plans were, they aren't happening, says Naruto. The arc ball will then start disintegrating the ghetto statue right in front of Obito and Madara's eyes, and they are devastated. And the tail beast bomb just unforms itself because it was unstable. Naruto would then run up, grabbing Madara by the neck, holding him up, and this is, however, when Madara would just smile, bursting with wood release, and he turns the entire area into a giant forest. He would then grab Obito, and in all the chaos, he tries to leave, but he hears a snap as all the wood just disappears, and he finds himself completely exposed, and everyone is just shocked by Naruto's power because he's toying with Madara Uchiha as if he were a child. By the way, I'm saying Madara too much, and the way I'm saying it might be a bit weird for y'all, so I apologize, but I'm not gonna stop saying his name that way. It just sounds cooler that way. So Madara still tries to run away with this Susanoo, and this is when the other shinobi arrive, and they're terrified to see him flying through the sky and alive, technically. Naruto would then yell, "Everyone, there are a few more reanimated people coming. Take care of them. I'm ending this war." He then flies up as well, and he just, flies for Madara, and everyone agrees on one thing. Well, Madara is screwed, and then they split up, being guided by Shikaku and Ichi to take care of the other Tensei people and seal them. Eventually, Naruto catches up with Madara, and grabbing his feet, he slams him into the ground. Coincidentally, Madara actually slams into water as they arrive at the Valley of the End. Madara would then get out of the water, standing on it, as Naruto would then land, and he tells Madara to give up. However, this is when Tobi warps next to Naruto, saying, "You took her from me, give Rin back." Tobi would then instantly be sent cratering into a mountain wall, as Naruto did so easily by tapping his face as if he was knocking on a door. "I figured out your little trick already a long time ago," says Naruto, "but I'm too fast for you anyway, so it's kinda pointless. Sorry. Now, Madara, this is your end, trust me. I'll make your death painless. I'm one of the few who actually respect you. Just listen to me." Madara would actually be kind of surprised by this, but then he yells, "Until I get to fight Hashirama again, I am not going anywhere. We are fated to fight." Naruto would then say, "I can snap my fingers and you will cease to exist. We both know you're just buying time at this point." He would then snap, and he loses his left leg, losing balance and falling flat on his face. Then was his other leg, and then his fingers, until there was nothing left of him. And the only words Madara uttered before he died were, "Hashirama." Naruto would then turn around and look at a knocked out Tobi, as he would then wrap him up in a cocoon, and he would put him over his shoulder. "You didn't even use my power once, you little brat," says Kurama. "Love you too, buddy," says Naruto. He would then get mad. Kurama would get a little bit mad, but he's that tsundere motherfucker. He's fine. He just wants to be useful. And Naruto would then fly out of the valley, being content that this was finally freaking over. But then he spots a group of people, and among them is Sasuke. The group would then stop as only Sasuke goes forward while the others stay back. Naruto would then wonder, is that Orochimaru's energy? He would then land down on the statue of Hashirama as Sasuke stays on the other side. "So, did you find out?" asked Naruto. You and your village are so proud of yourself. Your people are manipulative and cruel, Naruto," yelled Sasuke. "Is Itachi here?" asked Naruto. Sasuke would then say, "He's gone. I'm gonna ruin that village of yours. I swear. All of them. I will make them burn." This is when Sasuke would actually awaken the Rinnegan in his left eye, and surprisingly, Naruto was surprised, and he would say, he would tell Sasuke that he awakened the Rinnegan. Hearing this, Sasuke would then start to laugh as he unleashes his Susanoo and he enters his Dragon Sage mode. He would then launch arrows at Naruto, who just sends them flying back at him using his daggers, and Sasuke has to protect this team. How can he do that? Just how many things did he learn over the years? Naruto would then say, by now I'm sure you know why I chose not to kill you. Please don't enter a losing battle. I don't want to lose a friend. You and I are nothing. I know I can't win, but I don't care. I'll die trying. Maybe I can then leave something of guilt on your consciousness. If I'm really your friend, then even if you kill me, I win. He would then start laughing more maniacally, and Team Taka, now named Taka, is actually not sure if they're recognizing the same Sasuke because he's different somehow. Naruto would then turn on his goddess eye, being suspicious as well, and he sees a disturbing aura around Sasuke, and this would be, well, Zetsu trying to control him, and him awakening the Rinnegan was just perfect for him to manipulate Sasuke. He was trying to control his actions. Naruto would then think, seriously? It's over, just fuck off. He would then snap his fingers as the Raijin mark on Sasuke starts glowing, and we see Black Zetsu on Sasuke just appear, and then he just screams as he is erased from existence, just like everyone else. Sasuke would then be back to normal, with Naruto yelling, so, still want to brutally destroy my village, or am I gonna have an actual chance to talk to you like a normal person? Sasuke would then be confused, landing on the Madara statue, saying, wait, what? I only came here to ask you a question. Were you ever gonna kill me, or do you still plan to? Sasuke, I won't kill you. This whole war has proven one thing. People can work together, and like Sakura told me, killing you would just be senseless murder. There's no point in all of this. It's over. Before I would use the excuse that I killed you for the sake of the village, but that's bullshit. You can come back. You will serve some time, but I think everyone in the Leaf agrees that they would love to have you back. For a while, you were part of the Leaf. Sasuke would then smile as he then sprouts his wings and lands next to Naruto, and they then stare each other down. When out of nowhere, Sasuke actually punches them in the nose, and Team Taka is wondering if they're about to throw down, because if they do, Sasuke is dead. They can't really hear anything at all, so they're just, guessing. Sasuke would then say, that's for breaking my nose last time. Now we're even. I know that doesn't hurt, but still. Naruto would then have a big smile on his face, with Sasuke calling him a weirdo, as he says this, a few shinobi from the Leaf like Kakashi, Sai, and Sakura, and Inoshi Kasho arrive, as Kakashi would ask, did we win? What, you really thought that loser was gonna beat me? They would then start laughing and screaming with happiness as the war is finally over. Now, during the war, here are the things that happened in the background, kind of. Turns out B was alive, and he went to meet with A, and the Akatsuki members that were left were dealt with as Guy and Lee together destroy Kisame with ease. And of course, Sasuke fought Itachi, but you know what happened. And, there were fewer casualties in this time, as people like Neji did not die. Neji is alive. And now we go back to Konoha. It's been 2 days, and the aftermath of the war is being dealt with. Naruto is basically the strongest person alive and is recognized as such because he beat Madara toying with him, and his achievements in the war are humongous. He single-handedly stopped the war with his clones, and yeah, all of this, all while being 16 years old. Not only is he a young Kage, but he has power that cannot be explained. So, things will go smoothly from here, but due to his immortality, he thought it'd be useless to do stuff like fall in love and crap and, get married, but along the years, he grows up and falls in love with Ino. I was gonna say Hanabi, but the age difference is too big, and I'm not doing any of that weird shit. So yeah, they get married, and I don't really care. You guys just always want something in the end, so I'm just giving you a ship. Here it is, Ino. Sasuke would end up marrying Sakura still, and the rest of the Taka team are just still doing whatever the hell they want, Orochimaru is trying to become immortal still, and when Naruto and Ino have their son, they name him Nagisa because I like that better, and he inherits Naruto's arc powers, but only has demonic strength, which is still a lot. Himawari would inherit his Hellblaze, which is something that, well, only she can use, and her his arc powers as well, and also some super strength. And since Naruto is who he is and his parents are watching over him, when the Otsutsuki come back, yeah, that's a complete massacre because up to his adult years, Naruto only gets stronger and wiser, and this time he makes use of his clones and actually freaking spends time with his family while his clones do the work. And soon the QB would resurface with Naruto helping them out, and now anyone could become a Jinchuriki since Naruto's seal was impenetrable. If he laid one on you, You're awesome. Now, as for Toby, he rejoined the village eventually, giving in and accepting the fact that Reina is gone and she's not coming back, but it's okay for him to move on without her. He and Kakashi rekindled their friendship and become the best tag team. And also, Naruto helps Orochimaru with this immortality thing because, like I said, Naruto's actually a genius. He just never finds a need to use his brains that much. Shikamaru still becomes his attendant. You know, all that happens. But now, I'm gonna leave what happens in Boruto up to you because, truth be told, Boruto has much more power in this one, and he has as much potential as Naruto does, and so does Himawari. So after their dad, they're the strongest beings on Earth. So have fun concocting up little scenarios in your head, but you know, this is it. This is the end. Welcome to the end of the video. Hope you guys didn't mind the background noise. There was a lot of it. Don't know if you heard it. Luckily you didn't, but there's still a lot of it going on now. I hope you guys enjoyed. The next video will be what if Deku was a speedster. That's also actually coming close to an end, but I just want to get them all over with and start what if Asta was a player, and you know, other stuff. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with anybody else might like what ifs. I hope you enjoyed this series. The Discord server is always down below, and yeah.